Hello, dear friends. It's me, psychologist Natalia Kolodenko, and today we will be discussing how to form positive beliefs about money. First of all, I want to start by saying that we have thousands of negative beliefs about money, dozens of fears, and many worries about what tomorrow will bring and what the future will be like for us and our children. What do I want to say about this? I want to highlight two aspects. The first aspect is that negative beliefs about money always exist, even among very wealthy people. However, the more a person allows themselves these beliefs internally, the more it indicates that they simply have quantitatively more positive beliefs about money. These positive beliefs are stronger and closer to the heart, while negative beliefs are somewhere in the background. They make noise, but they do not define. The second aspect is that every problem, in any area of life, has hidden benefits. We create our own dissatisfaction with things in life through our own thoughts, actions, relationships, communication, and so on. Therefore, our task today will be to identify positive beliefs, do an exercise that will help us with this, and at least partially understand the hidden benefits. The goal of this lesson is to help you analyze your mechanisms, how you hinder yourself, and then you can apply this skill to any topic that is relevant to you. So let's move on to the exercise that will help us say goodbye to negative beliefs about money once and for all. The first thing you need to do is write down a list of your negative beliefs. Be as honest as possible with yourself. Dedicate 10 to 15 minutes to this. Without any distractions and without overthinking, write down everything negative you've heard about money. It could be in the form of proverbs, just thoughts from your parents, like the more you want, the less you get. This is also essentially about money. Don't get your hopes up. Decent people don't earn much. We're poor, but we sleep peacefully. Everything related to financial limitations, negative attitudes towards wealthy people, pleasures, desires. Everything you've personally heard directed at you, all of this needs to be written down. You are making a list of your negative beliefs. Some of these you might have come up with yourself. For example, the more you save, the calmer you live, or you need to save. The main thing is to spend less. These kinds of prohibitions and limitations may sound innocent and everyday in a joking format, but nevertheless, they reflect your philosophy and attitude towards wealth. After you've written this list, we move on to the next structure, which we will do individually with each belief. Choose the most acute negative belief from your list, and using it as an example, we will now see how to work with it. In the future, you can work with each belief using this same scheme, or select the 5 most harmful negative beliefs and work with each of them. So, for example, the belief we are poor, but at least we sleep peacefully. Write this belief as it is formulated. That's the first point. The second point is how it limits you. Here, you write down how it restricts you. For instance, it limits me in purchases, prevents me from thinking about what I like, and forces me to think about what is cheaper. It essentially limits my desire to try new things. I set myself up to wait for retirement to sleep peacefully, as I believe I won't become wealthy before then. Next, what actions, guided by this belief, arise in your life? How does this belief guide you on a behavioral level? For some, writing this will be easy. For others, it might be difficult, because analyzing how a simple thought affects behavior is unfamiliar. You can help yourself by asking, what do I not do because of this belief? Or what do I do because of this belief? For example, because of this belief, I don't exercise in the mornings because I think I won't look beautiful anyway, since I am poor. I don't look for interesting trips to go on because I believe I won't have the money. I don't go to good, expensive restaurants because I think it's too expensive for me. If the poor should sleep peacefully, they can't actively go to restaurants. You need to study this belief as thoroughly as possible according to the scheme I suggest. The next point is, what do I feel because of this belief? For example, you might feel depressed, irritated, envious of rich people or women your age who drive specific cars, like a white Mercedes of the latest model. It can be something general or specific. It's better when it's something specific related to you. What negative feelings do you have because of this belief? The next point is, what would you like to feel instead? You can write an antonym for each feeling. For example, I feel anger, but I would like to feel calm. I feel humiliated, but I would like to feel joy. I feel envy, but I would like to feel admiration. In the end, you will have a line: I would like to feel joy, admiration, pleasure, freedom, faith in the future. Now, the most important and final point, you need to write a new positive belief. Why will you succeed? Because, having written down everything you would like to feel, ask yourself to feel this. What thought should be in my head? What belief should guide you? I'll share my experience. When working through this exercise with the phrase "we are poor, but at least we sleep peacefully," I formulated the phrase "one can afford this, I earn money." I often say this to my close friends when asking about the cost of something or a service. They tell me, "Well, it's expensive. It costs $3,000, to which I reply, "Great, I earn money." I am not ashamed that I earn money, and even if I don't have the money for a specific thing right now, or I'm not ready to allocate it, I don't become embarrassed and constrained. I think, great, there's something to strive for. By analyzing one negative belief with this exercise, you will already understand the anatomy of poverty. That is, how you hold yourself back, what is happening inside. You analyze the feelings that arise from this belief, the feelings you would like to have, and the new positive belief. And to finally consolidate, write down how your behavior will change thanks to the new positive belief. What will you do differently regarding everything related to this? Remember, you had the point, how do I behave in connection with this belief? And now, how will you behave in a new way? How will you respond? Where will you go? What will you do because you now think differently? I want to emphasize once again that these mental exercises may seem like a weak tool for improving financial well-being, but they have been proven effective on myself, dozens of my clients, and my friends and acquaintances. Everyone who was open and ready to change, who actually performed these exercises and adopted this thinking philosophy, achieved remarkable results. You can do it too. Changing limiting beliefs to empowering ones is already a step towards healing. I suggest working with at least 6 beliefs. This way, you can cleanse yourself and start noticing how these negative beliefs surface in each specific situation. For example, "I can't afford this, this is never for me," even if you can't afford something right now, or don't know how to achieve a desired result to earn a certain amount, holding on to a limiting belief won't bring you closer to that goal. In any case, you need to prepare yourself for a more positive future. Next, we need to talk about hidden benefits. Hidden benefits are a topic that always meets with a lot of resistance. It's unpleasant, but nonetheless, we must address it. Perhaps some of you have already heard that every unpleasant situation in our lives is somehow supported by us and our psyche. What does this mean? First, I want to focus on the fact that when you have an unpleasant situation or a prolonged absence of growth and positive changes, to protect yourself from suffering, you start to come up with explanations for why this is possible. I have rarely met people who, when asked, "Why don't you have a social media page?" respond with, "Because I'm lazy," or "Because I'm afraid to create it, and don't know what to post there." Why don't people respond this way? Because if you tell the truth, "I don't know what to post there," the next phrase will be, "Well, take the first step, do something," and doing something isn't appealing, because everyone wants a perfect maximal result. One reason for this is that many of us were taught to idealize everything in life, to clean perfectly, to rewrite neatly. We all planned to build the perfect family but realized as we aged that this is an unattainable task. Nonetheless, when it comes to radical change, everyone wants to lose 20 kilograms in a day and earn $1 million without effort, preferably by tomorrow. Since there is such a demand in the market, many personal growth coaches often support this idea that you just need to follow a magical method, and everything will happen. And then, when nothing happens, they say, "Well, you must have done it wrong." This could also be true, or they simply don't care anymore because they've made their money. I advocate for any goal to be ecological, not destroying a person and not making them sit, stare at the ceiling, and wait for a miracle. We should approach any task with interest. Therefore, when talking about hidden benefits, to notice and understand how we build blocks to achieving goals ourselves, we need to answer questions honestly. Why don't I have a social media page? Or why is my page maniacal? For example, a kitty on the avatar, 2 posts about nothing. Or why do I have a page for my child? Many people post pictures of their children but not themselves. Or why do I have a forest spirit page? The avatar shows a forest, 18 pines, 3 birches, 2 bushes, and 4 daisies. Such a social media page is unlikely to attract clients, employers, or acquaintances with whom you can partner. This is an important aspect, and how a person manages their social media page can say a lot about them. Even if they do nothing there, it's still a form of avoiding reality. On one hand, everyone says that intelligence agencies analyze us through social media, push advertisements on us, and this is true. But on the other hand, it's already happening everywhere. We are all being watched by cameras on the street, which we might not even be aware of. Supermarkets track the products we buy most often and give us bonus cards to understand our purchasing habits. We are already the target of marketing strategies. Someone is always hunting for our wallet. Everyone aims to earn money, and if you're not doing it, you might think of yourself as noble. We live in a social jungle, and everyone hunts for someone. It's great to be the one who is having dinner, rather than the dinner itself. To do this, it's not necessary to kill anyone. On the contrary, you can be useful. The problem of unfulfillment and lack of money is related to not fully understanding the value of what you do and not knowing how you can help others. Therefore, people want either to sell something or win the lottery. Hidden benefits are the positive bonuses you get from a lack of money or conflicts in the family. For example, you can avoid negative evaluation if you don't do something. Maintaining an active social media page might attract criticism, but the hidden benefit here is avoiding negative evaluation. In every situation, there is a hidden benefit. For example, not exercising means avoiding effort, although you miss out on ease of movement and compliments. The hidden benefit is hiding in your body from outstanding beauty. Every problem has an opposite side. The state of poverty is not about the amount of money but about the ability to complain. Many people explain their failures by the economy, exchange rates, or bad people, which stops growth. Problems shouldn't be explained, they should be turned into tasks. If you are not satisfied with the situation, admit it and act. Social media is a resource that should be used like an oil well. Managing social media helps show the best part of your life and attract attention. To understand how to run a page, follow those who interest you and try to reproduce something similar. Choose people you enjoy following and create your page based on their example. The page should be such that you want to visit it every day. Think about what kind of page you would want to visit every day and what you can do to get closer to that goal. We often hear about bloggers who reached millions of views in just a few days, but such successes are becoming rarer, and competition on social media is growing. Nevertheless, it's important to move in this direction because through social media, we create a stream of people who like us and who will buy something from us, give us gifts, or invite us somewhere. If you cast a large net into the sea, you will catch both small fry and bigger fish, as well as trash, and maybe even a big fish. If you don't have a net and fish with a rod, your chances of success are significantly lower. Being visible, and therefore promising and resourceful, is much harder without social media. To understand the hidden benefits you are getting, I suggest starting a self-observation journal. For example, take a real problem that you know you need to address daily but don't. Let's say you know you need to have a healthy breakfast, but often skip it. Your hidden benefit might be avoiding the effort of preparing breakfast the night before. This can be a form of self-sabotage regarding respect for yourself and your health. Hidden benefits often work like they do for a child. A child might fear being unnoticed, and, if we don't put ourselves first, we sometimes do something bad to become noticeable. For example, a child might break a glass on purpose to attract attention. Similarly, we might act on hidden benefits. For instance, if you didn't take any steps to sell something again, you avoided the embarrassment that comes with selling. You also avoided the risk of being accused of greed. Plus, laziness is always pleasant, as the pleasure from effort comes with a delay. To understand your hidden benefits, take specific life situations and analyze what benefit you gained from inaction. For example, by downplaying your situation, you gain pity and attention. If you analyze your mistakes and acknowledge them, you become more aware and grow from them. Self-sabotage and resistance to success and pleasure exist within each of us. The more you recognize how you participate in hindering your own success, the more aware your life becomes. You'll see that problems don't just pile up on you, you create them with your decisions or lack of action. Every situation consists of numerous small decisions you made or didn't make. It's important to acknowledge that all causes lie within us, not external circumstances. This helps with quality growth and development. Even if you can't consult a psychologist, you can still work on personal growth independently. It's not necessary to delve into childhood traumas or complex psychological techniques to understand your hidden benefits and start working on yourself. I believe there's no need to get into complex psychological techniques to start working on yourself and personal growth. It's essential to learn to create a system for yourself, like starting a swing initially, you push it, and then it swings on its own. You need to create a system that continues to work even in your more passive state. In the context of money, there are concepts of assets and liabilities. Liabilities are what you can sell when you need to, like an apartment or a car. An asset is something that brings you a steady income, even if it's small. To earn more, it's not enough just to want a better job, you need to become the person who matches that better job. What questions should you ask yourself for personal growth? The first question is, how well do I match my desires? Write a list of your desires, make a vision board, and analyze how well you match those desires. Here's an example. I have a friend who lived in a small town. She borrowed a large sum of money, miscalculated her abilities, and was deceived. After that, she decided to move to another city to start a new life. In the new city, she had to start from the bottom because she had problems with her appearance, manner of speaking, and general skills. Instead of improving herself, she decided to study to become a coach, which did not solve her problems. Nowadays, there are more coaches and psychologists than clients, and this type of activity does not bring substantial income to most people. To achieve success, it is not only necessary to acquire knowledge but also to develop the right mindset and environment. Success depends 10% on knowledge and skills, 40% on mindset, and 50% on the environment. The environment plays a crucial role. When you interact with successful people, they do not give you material things but share ideas and their state of mind. It is important to be in an environment of people who inspire and motivate you to grow. Remember that happiness is not measured by the amount of money, but by the quality of life and the level of freedom. Even wealthy people have problems, which can sometimes be even more complex. It is essential to strive for harmony and balance in life, not just material well-being. Consider this scenario well. What will you do when you return? The novice, who had experienced a shipwreck, replies, "How will I make money?" The questioner asks, "Why to live luxuriously?" The novice answers, "Why to buy a yacht, travel, and then go to some uninhabited island to eat fruit and chew on coconuts?" The mentor responds, "But I already live like that, eating fruit and chewing on coconuts on an uninhabited island, and I don't need a business for that." This illustrates that ultimately, many people have the same goal. I know dozens of people who made $1 million only to reach a state of spiritual crisis, travel to India, clean floors in an ashram, and feel happy knowing they have $1 million somewhere. But their emotional state does not change. Happiness is a skill, an ability, a habit that is cultivated. It is like in sports. Just because you are rich, you do not automatically get abs. You get abs from working on them. Happiness comes from learning to be happy, and money comes from learning to earn it, or feeling how to earn it. If you do not know how to feel it, then you need to learn. Everything is always the result of actions and efforts. Therefore, I want to say that most often, when a person needs to strongly acknowledge a large number of their flaws that prevent them from having a better life, such as changing clothes, figuring out how much dental care costs, how much it costs to maintain a good hairstyle, and generally developing a taste, it sometimes requires listening to a bunch of free and paid courses, looking at pictures of people you admire, and approaching that, starting from the outside and moving inward. Acknowledging all the problems is unpleasant for anyone, and starting to work on them is difficult. Coaches and trainers who promise quick results prey on this. Their solutions might not even be fake, it's just that the desire to close one's eyes to their problems leads to spending even more money on training that cannot help. Learning by itself doesn't work. What works are the decisions you make, and how you implement them differently. When you do this not just for one day but every day, forming new habits, you can't rely on miracles. Every evening you need to write down tasks for the next day and learn to complete them. Joe Vitale wrote about planning tasks and making requests to the universe if you don't know how to achieve your goals. For example, he wanted to be in a movie, and 2 days later he was invited to participate in the documentary The Secret. The universe hears you when you do everything you can on your end, but if you only ask and complain, no miracle will happen. Miracles are built on hard work. You need to push yourself to a level where miracles start happening for you, becoming the executor of your tasks. Here are a few personal questions that can help you move forward. Am I providing services of the highest quality, or should I think about improving them? You should have clear criteria for high-quality services. For instance, you make clay cups, but you don't have any packaging. Is it pleasant to receive this as a gift or to buy it? Or, for example, when clients enter, there is an unattractive mat at your doorstep. The emotional aspect is underestimated in services. I choose makeup artists who make me look the best, and also those who exude pleasantness regardless of their mood. You should have it written down how your service looks when it is of high quality and how much it can cost. You need to understand where you fall short. Some people provide not very high-quality services but consider them to be high quality. How can you tell something is wrong? Always look at the results. If clients are not flocking to you, something is missing. Emotion is crucial even for online purchases. Have I managed to learn to act without delay? If so, how? This is a very important question. When you receive a task, you immediately start working on it. You act without delay, easily responding to your desires. I'll give an example. Recently, I really wanted to buy my daughter a sweater like mine. The stores didn't have it, but finally, they made this sweater, and it was available for sale. I saw it, and all sizes were available for 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds, and so on. I was shocked that the sweater was available, but it was quite expensive, almost $200, and I doubted whether it was worth buying for a child who would wear it just a few times. My friend who was with me said, "You wished for it, and they made it especially for you. If it will make you happy, then buy it," and I bought it. This is an example of acting without delay. In the past, I would have said, "I'll think about it, maybe buy it later." But I decided to buy it immediately. Do I sometimes return purchases made on emotions? Yes, but only when I realize that the item is not what I imagined or it is not as comfortable as I expected. But if I really wanted the item, I accept it. This applies not only to purchases but also to other aspects of life. For example, if I have long wanted to see a friend who invited me to karaoke, I try to arrange everything to get there. When you start acting without delay in small matters, it becomes a norm in your life, and you can make more radical decisions in larger matters. There was a case when I wrote to my friend to ask how she was, and she replied that she was in France, in Annecy. I thought, why not fly there, although I had a consultation and had just received my dry cleaning in the office? I called my assistant to find out the next flight, and 2 hours later, I was already at the airport. This was not an easy decision because preparing for a trip takes time. If I hadn't made the decision immediately, I wouldn't have had the chance to visit this beautiful city, see my friend, and gain those valuable emotions and experiences. The pleasure that we postpone for ourselves is just as important for clients. Most people want their buyers to purchase what they themselves do not buy. If I sell jewelry, I should buy jewelry myself. The same applies to psychological services. If I sell psychological services, I should use them myself, otherwise, it's not sustainable. Learning to act without delay is very important. Now the question, have I managed to improve my personal qualities? This question can be asked daily. For example, yesterday I attended a juggling class. I came home and thought, today I improved my coordination skills and had fun. If you engage in sports, that's also a step toward improvement. Confidence increases because you see your growth. Even if it's not every day, there should be moments a few times a week where you feel your improvement. Have I been persistent in realizing my plans? Often, something can throw you off track. You need to learn to recognize where changes in plans are improvements and where they are just obstacles. For example, the spontaneous decision to go to Annecy instead of planning long trips was an excellent change of plans. Question: have I been too cautious or too reckless? Some people need to learn caution, others need to learn recklessness. This question is useful for self-awareness. The next question: have I wasted my energy? I notice that I stay up late watching TV shows or videos that may not be very useful. If I want to learn, I need to schedule time for reading books or watching useful videos instead of dragging it out. In an era of information overload, it's important to be selective. We live in a hyperabundance of food, information, acquaintances, and everything else. There's no need to hoard more food in the fridge or contacts in the phone. I recently bought a new phone and didn't transfer any contacts, recording only those I really need. Learn to choose the best because the amount of content, movies, books and coaches is vast, but you need to learn to choose the best. The main tasks should be related to your primary priority, whether it's improving well-being or physical condition. The more you strive for bigger goals, the more quality your nutrition, workouts, sex, and sleep should become. Thank you and see you next time.